Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1 is a remake of another RPG called Hyperdimension Neptunia, which was released on the PlayStation 3 quite a while ago. It's a very interesting RPG in that, well, it's about the console wars. So I know what you're thinking, wait, the PlayStation Vita is finally part of the console wars? I know it sounds hard to believe, but the concept is actually really cool, if not somewhat weird. So in this world, the consoles are represented by different anime girls. So we have an anime girl that is similar to the Nintendo Wii, the PlayStation consoles, the Xbox, and of course, everybody's favorite console, the Sega Dreamcast. Now, if only we'd ever have a Dreamcast too. Anyway, the gameplay of Hyperdimension Neptunia is a lot different than the previous version of the game. In this version, the battle system has been completely changed, similar to another game in the same franchise that was released in Japan a couple of years ago. The combat system allows you to move freely in order to position yourself before you attack the enemy. However, you're still relying on the same turn-based RPG system that you're so accustomed to. However, having a second or third party member makes the strategy element actually really fun, as being able to move around and then pinpointing where you're going to attack can be really fun. However, just remember, the enemies can also move around as well. The combat system also relies on an interesting mechanic when it comes to waiting for your turn, as each turn will have a different card set into play, which will have a character's face or the enemy's face on it, telling you how many turns you have to wait until that character can then begin to move again. Sometimes you might even be lucky, depending on your speed, in being able to go faster than the enemy itself. Another element that's really nice is to be able to do special attacks, which has some fantastic animations along to go side with them. Overall, the combat system isn't the greatest system in place, however, it still is fun if you're really into RPGs. The story, without going into spoiler territory, is pretty much the concept of trying to restore balance to the world after the entire game industry is being destroyed. So you're going to have to save the entire industry. The concept is very interesting, however, I found a lot of the characters to be somewhat, overly sexualized and talking about breasts and other topics that just kind of brought me out of the whole experience to begin with, and seemed more like akin to fan service than really of a great story. However, some of the dialogue can be quite funny, so it's a little tolerable than other writing in other games. Hyperdimension Neptunia is a bit of a downgrade compared to the PlayStation 3 version. However, the environments and character models and sprite animations still look rather well, and the music can be kind of catchy. Overall, Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1 is one of those few RPG satires that is, very ambitious. It does some things right and does some things wrong, with some of the dialogue being a bit overly too sexualized for my own taste, while the combat system I found to be a little easy, but overall really fun. If you're a fan of the previous games in the Hyperdimension Neptunia series, or you've played Victory or a few of the other games, then I'm sure you'll find this remake to be perfect for you. However, for the average player, it really all comes down to if you like the concept of the game itself. It's another decent RPG for the PlayStation Vita, and you can't really have enough RPGs when it comes to portable platforms. So if you're an RPG fan, you also might like this if you enjoy the concept. So make sure to do a little bit more research onto that before diving in. Overall, I would give a somewhat recommendation when it comes to Hyperdimension Neptunia. Thanks again for watching, and if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, be sure to email us at BitShiftTV@gmail.com. Leave a comment on the video and make sure to like, subscribe, and share, and follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/BitShiftTV. Thanks again for watching.